to be finally back on the glass ceiling for the year. All the other episodes you were listening to while I was off sick were repeats of previous episodes. But that's the great thing about the glass ceiling. It's so good that you can listen to it over and over again. By the way, we have a podcast, the Glass Ceiling Podcast, the Glass Ceiling Show. So look for the Glass Ceiling Show on any of your favorite podcast services. So Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Anchor, wherever you listen to your podcasts, you can just search for the Glass Ceiling Show with Sandra Ezekwesili, and you can listen to all our previous episodes. Welcome. I am Sandra. I'm sure you know that. And this is Hard Facts on Nigeria Info 99.3. And today on the Glass Ceiling, we're going to talk about something that comes up during every NYSC orientation period. Now, on the glass ceiling, we talk about all the different barriers that hold women back, right? No pun intended. But all of them. In the workplace, in the school, at NYSC, in the family, at home, in the society. And we look at practical solutions for shattering those barriers. That's why it's called the glass ceiling. I always use this analogy where if you walk into an office, for instance, and they have a glass door, sometimes if you're not paying attention, you do not notice that there's glass there. So sometimes what the office people do is put a sticker on the glass and tell you, watch out for that glass. Because they know that glass is so see-through that sometimes you think that you are seeing the other end of your destination, but there's glass there, there's a barrier there, and you cannot get past until somebody opens the door or you open the door yourself. That's what it's like for women with a lot of things. Now, for this particular conversation we're going to have, for some people, during NYSC orientation, it's a very serious issue. For them, it's a question of morals. It's a question of decency. It's a question of faith. For other people, it's a funny or even ridiculous issue. And then you have those for whom it's just a matter of common sense. But for me, it's a great conversation to have with you. And I'm talking about the NYSC dress code. Now, it doesn't matter how long ago you did your youth service. The dress code has not changed. So you know exactly what I will be talking about. Now, let's say you've not served, but you see Copachon on the street every week in their uniforms. When they're going to their CDS or when they're coming back from their CDS. So you know the dress code, right? The green face cap, the white shirt, the khaki jacket, the white socks, the jungle boots, and on their legs, the khaki trousers. But now it's inside the trousers that there is K-leg. No pun intended. A group of women are petitioning the National Youth Service Corps to let them decline to wear the trousers. They want to have the option to wear skirts as part of their NYSC uniform. The group is called the Serve with Skirts movement. They made the news earlier this month when they staged a demonstration at Unity Fountain, Abuja. And if you haven't heard about Serve with Skirts before, you may be asking yourself, why are they against serving with trousers? So let's hear from the horse's mouth, or at least the horse's placards. During the demonstration, the protesters held up signs that said, there is a difference between the world and the daughters of God. And they also held up placards that said, our sisters cannot dress like men. They should be decently covered. If you go to my Twitter, Ezekwesili, you'll actually find a picture of that I shared earlier today, of some of the placards that these people were carrying. So clearly, for Serve with Skirts, this is a moral issue. Remember, I said that there are three kinds of people with this debate that happens every NYSC orientation. For the Serve with Skirts movement, it's a moral issue. It's an issue of decency. In fact, some members of Serve with Skirts said that their religious beliefs do not allow women to wear trousers because trousers are clothing for men. According to Serve with Skirts, it is unjust for the government to force them into taking an action that, to their beliefs, is sinful. After all, there's meant to be freedom of religion. Now, remember that youth service is compulsory unless you receive an exemption from the NYSC. So if these ladies refuse to serve because it means committing a sin in their religion, they broke the law. They've broken the law. They can be jailed. They will be ineligible for employment in Nigeria. So as far as they are concerned, the government, the NYSC, and the law are forcing them to sin. According to a spokesperson for Serve with Skirts, many of the affected women have in the past requested for exemption from the youth service on religious grounds. And each time, according to the spokesperson, the government has refused to grant it to them. And so the women show up for NYSC orientation camp in skirts. Oh yeah, now, since you don't want to give me exemption, let me come dressed the way my religion allows. But again, skirts are not accepted as NYSC uniform. And according to the group, the young women who show up in skirts are punished, harassed, and eventually kicked out of camp. So that's the women's side of the story. But there's always more than one side with any story, right? A quarrel is like trousers. It's not a skirt. It has two legs. And now the other side of the argument has spoken. The Director General of NYSC himself, Shuaibu Ibrahim, he talked about the dispute last week. And Mr. Shuaibu said, in fact, he did not mince words. Let me read part of his statement for you. It says, and I quote, "For the avoidance of doubt, the scheme has maintained one dress code since May 22, 1973, when it was established, devoid of ethnic, religious, or gender bias. The code remains a pair of khaki trousers and shirt, crested vest, white vest, a pair of white shorts, a pair of zebra striped socks, a pair of jungle boots, a pair of canvas, belt, and face cap. This depends on camp activity at any point in any time. Any other dress code contrary to the officially sanctioned one will not promote the course of decency." End of quote. Shuaibu Ibrahim, the Director General of the NYSC himself. Strong words. Very, very strong words. Now, what did Shuaibu mean when he said that a change in dress code will not promote the course of decency? He's talking about the obstacle courses. You served now, you know how far. When you have to jump wall, you have to pass through tire, you have to climb hill, you have to draw rope, all those things that we did. NYSC orientation is full of different physical exercises and contests. You jog, you do aerobics, you march, you swing, you climb the obstacle course. How many of you remember that? I loved it. I loved the obstacle courses. And Shuaibu, the NYSC DG, is saying that climbing that obstacle course or that tire swing in a skirt would expose these women's bodies. And NYSC is trying to prevent that. He said, quote, "This will expose her indecently, thus leaving little or nothing to imagination." End of quote. Now, for me, this raises a very big irony. Very big. On the one hand, these women are refusing to wear trousers as coppers because they believe it is indecent for women to do so. On the other hand, NYSC is not letting them wear skirts because it believes that the skirts will expose them in an indecent way. So the first question that enters my head is, are the women aware that the skirts may expose them on the obstacle course? And some people will answer, so what? Some will ask, if the women are aware and do not care, who are we to impose trousers on them? But others will say, it is not just the women. What about their fellow corpers and the camp officials who are going to be exposed to the semi-nudity? Is it fair to them? So these are the two arguments I've heard when I've brought this up amongst other people. I'm curious what you have to say. Do your religious beliefs tell you that women wearing trousers is indecent. In that case, how do you feel about NYSC insisting that women wear trousers? But also, how do you feel about the idea of women wearing skirts and getting exposed on the obstacle courses? Do you think these women should get an exemption from serving or from wearing the uniform on religious grounds? Do you think this is something that should happen? So again, do your own personal religious beliefs tell you that women wearing trousers is indecent dressing? If that's the case, how do you feel about NYSC insisting that women should wear trousers? And how do you feel about the idea of women wearing skirts and getting exposed on the obstacle courses? You know how NYSC went, so you know what I'm talking about. Bearing that in mind, because of your religious beliefs, do you think these women should get an exemption from serving or from wearing the uniform on religious grounds? 01277 0993. 01277 1993. 01277-2993 and 01277-33993. Yes, you can also send me a WhatsApp message. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. 080-959-75805. Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Yes, thanks for calling. What's your name?
My name is Moses. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Moses. Welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a Christian, true, but religion is not in the part of NYSC at all, because if you check what they are doing, if they should wear skirts, surely, not on that probability, surely they will be exposed. Surely, not that because you are a Christian or a Muslim. You wearing the NYSC uniform is just for the meantime. It's not forever. That's what they need to understand. Just for the meantime, if you are a Christian or you are a Muslim and your religion don't allow you to wear a skirt, just do that for the meantime. Then you go back.
But aren't you going against your religious beliefs if you have to do that? Are you not failing yourself? Are you not committing sin by doing that?
You are not committing sin because you need to protect yourself. Exposing yourself might cause another thing. Yeah, exposing yourself, like, let's just imagine right now, like I'm a guy and you are a female and someone is a female in my front line and you are doing something like you need to like stretch or to climb something and I'm under her. Okay, I'm under. So what will you like imagine? Imagine this stuff.
So you're saying that her trying not to sin might cause you to sin.
Yes, I just try to say my cause someone to sin.
All right, Michael, thanks for calling. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
My name is Cephas.
Cephas, does your religious belief tell you that women wearing trousers is indecent?
I have a question first before we continue.
Okay.
Please, I know army is not a religious stuff, and you see women in army wearing trousers. And you see the treatment of going to service, this NYSC service is similar to the one of army. So I see no point why they will say women should not wear trousers in NYSC. I think that is not even right at the first. And there is that fact that the man says, which says they don't want them to be exposed. So I think this is my own point. Yes, so that is it.
All right, thanks for calling, Cephas. Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. Thanks for calling. What's your name?
My name is Olumuyiwa, calling from Aja.
Go ahead, Olumuyiwa.
Yes, my religion does not permit women to wear trousers because when women even go to public toilets, they didn't just enter the one that they put trousers symbol because they wear trousers. Now, let me put it this way straight. The purpose of NYSC is to make unity in the whole Nigeria after the Civil War. They want Yoruba to go to the north and East to go to the west so that we can learn other culture, not for any paramilitary exercise. So once some people in the 1976, I see have some pictures of Nigerian women with skirts. The man that gave us the something since 1973 should tell us another thing. Women were scared in 1976, but suddenly the military changed it to trouser. Why must we impose your trouser to my daughter because my daughter is serving? And now my daughter don't want to wear trouser. You say you will not give them exceptional letter. Why? And I know some other people that wear hijab on top of their own clothes and did not say anything about it. So the point I'm making is that the purpose of NYSC is not for me to go to the field and be jumping. No, but for unity. So if a Christian come and say, I don't want to wear trousers, let them wear skirts and pose them where you want to pose them.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening. Let me address these points that he raised. This paramilitary point that he raised and the caller before him raised as well. This is actually another reason as to why the NYSC cannot allow women to wear skirts. Part of the role of the NYSC as a paramilitary organization is to prepare the minds and bodies of young Nigerians to sacrifice for and defend the nation. In fact, do you know that if Nigeria is at war and the armed forces are overstretched, government can call upon the serving corps members of the NYSC as a reserve? So I have to ask, do they wear skirts in a war? But then there are some people who say, who are we kidding? Do we really believe that coppers will ever be called upon to defend Nigeria? Really? Coppers, Otondo? Let me ask you. The Boko Haram insurgency is raging over 10 years. It's a crisis. If you heard today that the government wanted to send coppers to fight Boko Haram, would you think it was a good idea? You went to NYSC camp. Do you believe that you were given the proper training to fight terrorists or to fight the Cameroonian army if Cameroon decides to invade Nigeria? No? Right? No? So why do we keep insisting that NYSC is a paramilitary organization? Why do we, because of this paramilitary myth, insist that coppers must wear trousers and swing around on ropes and climb walls? I'm making this point because of the points that my last two callers made. In fact, there's a growing number of Nigerians who believe that the so-called paramilitary aspect of the NYSC should be scrapped. They believe that there is no usefulness in making graduates run around pretending to be soldiers. Orientation, yes, that's fine. Bring them to camp, teach them about patriotism, but let them learn in skirts if they want to. Should this really be a big enough deal to expel them from the Corps? Now, these are not my thoughts. These are arguments that I've heard people say, arguments that I've heard people share, opinions that other people have shared. And these people say that there is no longer any room for the paramilitary aspects of NYSC, which they believe was simply put there by the military rulers at the time because they were soldiers and military life was all they knew. But we're now in a democracy, Abi. The military has returned to the barracks, Abi. Well, they're still at checkpoints, Sha, but you get the picture. They're no longer running the country. Kind of. So is there any reason for coppers to be treated like soldiers? What do you think about that paramilitary aspect of the NYSC? Do you think it's necessary? Do you think it's simply a hangover from military rule that has no place in a democratic Nigeria? Is the idea that coppers can be called upon to fight for Nigeria reasonable, or is it an unthinkable, impractical fantasy? And while you're thinking about that, is it worth women being kicked out for wanting to wear skirts? 01277-0993, 01277-1993, 01277-2993, and 01277-3993. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
What's your name?
My name is Paul.
Paul, go ahead.
I believe it's very important that women and men are trained. And when need comes for that, the training will begin to exhibit the training. Because there's nothing happening, it will look as if it's not important. And it's very, very important they have such a training during war or during anything.
Did you serve?
Yeah.
Do you believe that the training you got in camp is sufficient for you to go to war if maybe war had broken out when you were serving?
It might not be sufficient, but it can contribute to rescue, to deliver someone during crisis. Because there's no training that is bad. You understand? Because number one, it's a physical fit. Number two, mental fit. Number three, strategy, skill. So all these things are used during the war or during crisis. You can deliver yourself even if you don't deliver others. So it's very important. In fact, they can increase it to 2 years, and so that they can involve in military training properly.
Okay. Thanks for calling to share your thoughts. Stanley from Shagamu says, I think if they don't wear trousers, they should not serve. That's a message on WhatsApp. Yes, you can send me a WhatsApp message. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. 080-959-75825. Taiwo from Okoko says, hello, Sandra. I just cannot stop laughing at these absurd and ridiculous claims by the aggrieved group. It purely stems out of... I'm not asking you to call me on WhatsApp. I'm asking you to... I'm asking you to send me a message. All right, so back to Taiwo's message. He says that this purely stems out of religious fanaticism, and it is no way... it is no way a question of decency or morality. How do they want to do man o' war drills with skirts? Maybe traditionalists should be allowed to put on their regalia too to camp. This is absurd, and a grant of their request is a defeat to the purpose of the scheme. All right, Taiwo, thank you so much for sending your message. Dahiru says, if wearing skirt is allowed, don't you think other women will take advantage of this and start wearing skimpy skirts? Another angle. Okay, but what's wrong with skimpy skirts? They're pretty. We have another message here from Ifeanyi who says, I believe they tend to keep the trousers under their skirt, but they just have to wear the skirts. All right, Ifeanyi, thanks for that message. Let's take another call. Hello. Hello, good evening.
Sandra.
How are you? Welcome.
I'm fine. My name is Bolaji from Maryland.
Hello, Bolaji. Do your Christian beliefs believe that trousers are a sin?
I don't even want to believe in all this nonsense I'm hearing around. You see, I will have, for anybody who have gone to school, you should, there are some interests and views that you just not expressing at all. We are talking here about graduates. People who have taken us. This should worry more, but not else. Like really. But you see again,
but freedom to religious practice is I'm sorry, your line is breaking up. We also have to remember that freedom of religion is a fundamental human right. People have a right to be a part of whatever religion that they deem fit, and to practice that religion however they deem fit. It's actually their fundamental human rights, and they're not supposed to be discriminated against based on their religious beliefs. So bearing that in mind, are we doing the right thing with these young women who say that they want to wear skirts? I mean, they want to wear skirts. They want to wear skirts. And if you go back to that paramilitary argument that some people make about the NYSC, again, I'm asking the question, is it still necessary? NYSC is paramilitary. Is it still necessary? Do you agree with Paul, who called in and said, well, the training is important. You never know when you're going to need it, but it's important. Do you agree with him? Or do you think paramilitary doesn't have any place in a democratic Nigeria? What do you think about the idea that corpers can be called upon to fight for Nigeria? Do you think that's reasonable? Or do you think it's an impractical fantasy? Do you think it's unthinkable? And even more importantly, is it worth women being kicked out for wanting to wear skirts. Now, skirts they won't wear. Is it worth them being kicked out? Think about it. You're listening to The Glass Ceiling on Hard Facts. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. Leave comments for me on Facebook, Nigeria Info 99.3. Share them via WhatsApp as well, 080-959-75805. Or you can call me on 01277-0993, 01277-1993, 01277-2993, and 01277-3993. You can also tweet at us at Nigeria Info FM.
This is The Glass Ceiling on Hard Facts. This is The Glass Ceiling on Hard Facts.
It's 29 minutes to 5, and on The Glass Ceiling today, we're having conversations about Serve with Skirts. There's a group called the Serve with Skirts movement, and they made the news earlier this month when they staged a demonstration at Unity Fountain, Abuja. If you haven't heard about them, you're probably asking yourself why they are against serving with trousers. And they say that there's a difference between the world and the daughters of God. They also say that our sisters cannot dress like men. They should be decently covered. So for this group, clearly, this is a moral issue. It's an issue of decency. But we heard from Shuaibu Ibrahim, the Director General of NYSC, and he says that Any other dress code contrary to the officially sanctioned dress code will not promote the cause of decency. And then he went on to say that wearing skirts will expose the women indecently, thus leaving little or nothing to the imagination. So the first question I asked on the show today was what your religious beliefs were. Do your religious beliefs tell you that women wearing trousers is indecent? How do you feel about NYSC insisting that they wear trousers, given your religious beliefs? But also, how do you feel about the idea of women wearing skirts and getting exposed on the obstacle courses? Do you think women should get exemption from serving or from wearing the uniform on religious grounds? And then for those who argue that NYSC is a paramilitary organization, do you think that there's still a place for the paramilitary aspect of the NYSC in today's Nigeria? Is the idea that corpers can be called upon to fight for Nigeria reasonable? Or do you think it's an impractical thing? Do you think it's a fantasy? And more importantly, do you think that it is worth women being kicked out for wanting to wear skirts? On Twitter, Colorful Charade says, Sandra, please, the immigration service is also paramilitary and their female officers wear skirts. Can we get serious? There's no reason for female corps members to stick to the dress code of pants, especially after camp. I mean, there's no more military training after the 3 weeks of camp. Let's allow them to wear their skirts then at least. And as for the military training, it shouldn't be compulsory. Can't this group be exempt? I think that this is discriminatory, especially as without NYSC, they cannot get proper jobs. Let me take your calls. 01277 0993, 01277 1993, 01277 2993, and 01277 3993. Hello. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Sandra Ezekwesili.
Good afternoon, MI from Akoka.
I am Sandra. You see, it's because of conversations like this that David said, the Lord is my shepherd, not our shepherd. Because I know him for myself. This is not Aina Jagima. So I'm going to speak for myself, not the Bible that I know, right? The Bible that I know, it talks about whatsoever are just. Now, it does not specify. There's no place in the Bible that says, thou shalt not wear trousers. In fact, let me shock you, Sandra, the Jewish priest, they wore what they call a regalia, a garment, and a turban, which is feminine. And if you go into history, women, let me tell you, high heels were originally worn by men. It's history. If you Google it, you find it. So the definition of what constitutes a man's dressing is subject. It's not culture to treat it out. So that what we call a preference becomes a principle. My preference may be not to wear trousers. Doesn't necessarily make it a principle. Do you understand? What Paul said, when I become all things to all men, so that by I might gain them. It doesn't make that it's compromising. In fact, do you know what the doctrine of cleanliness is talking about? Religion talks about outward appearance, but faith talks about it's not what you wear, it's not what you eat, it's not all the things that defile you, it's what comes out of your mouth that defiles you. Do you understand? So that's an argument about skirt and trousers. All these are pedestrian. It's like giving a child a call, he leaves there eating the leaf. Do you understand? So these are all the pedestrian conversations. Now about paramilitary, it's about psychologically preparing you. Do you understand? Okay. I served and I knew it woke me up from my Lagos mentality. I became a soldier. I became alert. It doesn't necessarily. No, it's true because I lived in a place that very volatile. So I was always ready for anything. My load was always packed and all that. Now you said sovereignty. There's rights of the citizen. There's also responsibility. You always say, "Oh, Nigeria is not doing this." Who Nigeria help? What have you done for Nigeria? What makes us different from the USA? If you call a USA man now and say, "Oh yeah, Kaina, well, let's go and fight," they are gone. Just on the road, they're calling their mom, "I love you," if I don't come back. Do you understand? So all this are just, yes, they have freedom. But my point is, make it a preference, not a principle. Okay. Make your case to the, so I want an exemption, but don't now, because of it, Sandra, it's too pedestrian for me, please.
All right, MI, thanks for calling. Carlos says, where your religious beliefs goes against the state laws, then you are on your own. Give to Caesar what is Caesar's. All right, Carlo, thanks for calling. Thanks for sending your message via WhatsApp. Zach is in Texas, and he says, who says wearing trousers is a sin? This is what religion does to you. NYSC will change their rules because of religion. Bam, 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 bam. Okay. All right. Let's see this one who says, hard facts. I think it's pure ignorance from those demanding for a change in the uniform. How many ladies or women have you seen working out or doing exercise in the gym or on the road wearing skirts? That's a message from Adegboyega Adedeji. All right, Adegboyega, thank you so much for sending your message across. We've got Mayor in Ajah who says, Sandra, no, I don't think so. The reason we were called graduates is that we are worthy in learning and in character. We should always stand for objective reasoning based on empirical and practical facts. The citation of Deuteronomy 22 verse 5 holds nothing relating to trousers for men only. They are standing on subjective reasoning because trousers is a garment of both sexes, no exclusion. Scottish men wear skirts on cultural ceremonies, and they are Christians. A rigorous exercise needs a protective garment, and trousers does it better than skirts. When we get religiously overzealous, we allow sentiments overcloud critical reasoning. All right. A lot of grammar there. Thank you so much for sending that message across. You didn't put your name though. CK from Ikotun says NYSC should be optional and not compulsory. Somebody else says the aim of NYSC is long lost. Scrap it. Let the money be channeled to innovative ideas that can allow graduates soar. The NYSC scheme is not even taken seriously by graduates. Nigeria is finished. And that's a message from Cordeline Ezekwesili Ibonwa. Who is this my sibling that I do not know about? All right, then, let's take a few more calls. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening.
Go ahead. What's your name?
Michael by name.
Yes, go ahead.
My only little contribution is this.
Unfortunately, your radio is on, so I can't keep talking to you. Before you call me, put your radio off. Thank you. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good evening. Welcome.
Thank you very much. You have Mr. Sam calling from Ikurudu.
Welcome, Mr. Sam.
Thank you. Yes, the bottom line is that, one, what is the essence of dressing? To cover your nakedness, to dress decently and moderately. Now, for the case of NYSC, I believe the reason why they have uniform is for smart purpose and for the exercise that the corpus will involve. You can't wear wearing gown to go and do exercise. And it's not that you are told that as an NYSC member, everywhere you go, you should wear the trousers. It's only when you are there in the duty, call to duty. So if you are not interested to abide by the rule of the game, then you walk out. Nobody forces you. You cannot dictate for them what you want to do. You must, in fact, it's part of discipline and obedient submissiveness to the authority that be. For you to follow the condition that is laid down, you are not the one to lay down the condition for them. So if anybody find any problem in obeying the authority, you should opt out of the NYSC. That is that.
All right. Thanks for calling, Mr. Sam. Now, I want us to widen this conversation. Shall we? Let's widen this conversation. I want us to talk about the assumption at the root of this debate. The assumption by some people that women should not wear trousers. And this is this insight I want to share was thanks to the message I got on WhatsApp and the point that MI made when he called. The assumption that trousers are for men only and women should only wear skirts and dresses. It's very interesting. You remember that there was a time in this part of the world where both men and women wore wrapper. Do you remember? So it seems like the rules for which gender can wear which clothes are always changing. In fact, in my house, growing up, my father's stay-at-home clothes was wrapper. He used to knot his own wrapper differently from the way my mom would tie her own wrapper. But they were both tying wrapper. Abi? Did your parents tie wrapper as well? In fact, you must have. Do you tie wrapper and stay in their house? So it looks like, it's always changing. The rules for which gender can wear which clothes is always changing. In northern Nigeria, for instance, in the days of Queen Amina of Zaria, women who rode horses wore trousers. Did you know that? Why did they wear trousers? Because it was practical. So clearly, dress code changes. Dress codes change. But some people say, a dress code can change. But until it changes, men and women have assigned clothes and they should stick to them. And so for me, it's truly funny how society is divided over the trouser. We're in two different legs. I did it again, sorry. Some believe that trousers are clearly only for men. And others believe that trousers are clearly unisex. And this debate reminds me of a story that a good friend of mine told me. She's a devout Christian. And in Port Harcourt, she belonged to a church where it was considered sinful for women to wear trousers. And then the church sponsored her to attend a program in the USA at a mega church in the Southwest USA. I won't mention the name. And when she attended the program, she was shocked by what she saw. She saw women leading praise and worship in trousers. She saw women prophesying in trousers. She saw women preaching in trousers. And she said to me, Sandra, God did not strike them down, no. And from that day, she started wearing trousers again. So it's interesting for me to see how we decide what is acceptable and not acceptable to wear based on gender. And it's not just for women. No. Look at men's clothing. If a man wears a wrapper, nobody bats an eye. But if he wears a skirt, most people are shocked. But ask yourself, what's the difference between a skirt and a wrapper? No be the same breeze they blow both of them. Seriously, tell me, how does society decide what clothing is okay or not okay for a man or for a woman? I want you to answer. Come answer. Seriously, answer this question. We've moved on from all the ones we were talking about before. Let's answer this one now. How does society decide what clothing is okay or not okay for a man or for a woman? Do you believe that trousers are unisex, or do you think that they're for men only? What's the difference between a wrapper and a skirt? If you are a man who wears wrapper, can you also wear a skirt? 012770993, 012771993. I can hear some of you say, Sandra, this is end time conversation you're having. 012772993, 012773993. These are our numbers. You can also send me a WhatsApp message. I'm taking your comments from WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. I'm about to go to Facebook and see what messages we have on our stream. Yes, we're streaming this conversation on Facebook. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. So if you've left me a comment there, I'm going to take it in a bit. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Oh, thank God. How are you doing? I'm enjoying your program. Sandra, I'm deeply saddened by this topic.
You what?
I'm deeply saddened.
Deeply saddened, okay. Why?
That this would be an issue in Nigeria. But like you said, people just want to talk for the sake of talking things, not that for the sake of being ignorant. I attended a church. I came when I came in the UK for a while. I attended the church where they drank and smoked freely. It's only when you went to enter the church, you just stand up your cigarette and you don't go to church. I was like, wow. In Nigeria, we will castigate reject you that you are damn mechanic. Come on, you are not sentiment on necessary to rule our judgment, to be proud of, unnecessary. During my days when I stand, it was a thing of pride to wear that uniform. NYC uniform is like a national symbol. Honestly, I'm we've so long, and we are just hypocrites in this country. Sorry to say.
All right, thanks for calling to share your thoughts. Mojume Uche says, ignorance is a disease all in the name of religion without even proof. Lack of proper Bible interpretation. Only in Nigeria you can find things like this. I don't know if it's only in Nigeria, Sha. Oji Favor says, wearing of trouser is not something that we should dwell on for too long. But if those who think that they cannot wear trouser during the NYSC year, they shouldn't consider going for service in the first place. You can agree with me, Ma, that there are a lot of things to protest. What about number 1, increment of their monthly alawi? Number 2, age barrier for being gainfully employed. All right, Favor Oji. Favor Oji is watching in Uyo. Favor, thanks for sending your message across. We've got Aura Collins Ken, who says he's enjoying the program. Okay, yeah, but what do you think? I know you're enjoying the program, but what do you think? Chike Onu on Facebook says, if they want to wear skirts, it's their right. Fundamental at that. They should go to court. I believe they will get judgment. After all, medical corps wear skirts. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, how are you? Good evening.
I'm fine, good day. My name is Aguma.
Aguma, welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, talking about what you wear in regards to women, anyway, not necessarily women, men and women, based on religion. If you pick up a religion, you walk towards the tenets of the religion. I don't think also the whites or the Europeans or the Western people are the standard for Christianity. So our standard is the Bible, what the Bible says.
Okay.
That is not to say I'm going to dwell, I am for, not for trousers.
Okay.
The Bible says, do not wear what pertains to the opposite. When it comes to trousers, do you know there are women trousers? There are men. So they are not sewn the same. Come to think about it. So if somebody say women should not wear trousers because they have seen somebody, a lady wearing a trousers, it could also be women trousers.
Can I ask you something, Aguma?
So,
do you tie wrapper?
Yeah, traditionally, you know, from the eastern part and then the Niger Delta, men tie wrapper.
Okay.
The Akwa Ibom tie wrapper.
Okay.
And you notice there is what you call men's judge and women's judge. That's men wrapper and women wrapper.
Okay.
So also, even in the Jews area, if you go to Israel, or even an Islamic country, or where Jesus come from, you notice that the kind of trousers they wear, even right now, they wear this. I don't know what we can call it agbada, or not necessarily agbada. Women wear trousers. It's covered. Do you understand? So that is also a trouser. So I really, it's not there. The Bible said, do not, let the Holy Spirit direct you. If you know this thing can lead me to sin, don't do it. If you know you are okay by it, I don't think it's not about what you wear. It's not about what you eat. It's about walking in line with the Holy Spirit.
All right, Aguma, thanks for calling to share your thoughts. We have on WhatsApp somebody who says that culture is very powerful. It is why personal preferences have been made public principles. If I grow up in Tema, Ghana, I would believe nothing is wrong with a man tying wrapper. The Bible said, let everyone be subject to authority, but some people are apparently more Catholic than the Pope. This one is the real inside life. I greet all the deputy gods who PA to the Holy Spirit. All right. Thanks for sending your message across. That's a funny one. This one says, unless you are a chief with the chieftaincy title that allows skirt during festive periods, any other reason for the purpose is abomination. This one says, all women should be excluded from NYSC if they insist on a particular outfit. It's not by force to serve your country. But it's not women. Now, wow. Ambrose from California. Ambrose, how can you say 1 + 1 equals to Okotomiomion screw? Like, I don't understand. How can a few women say they don't want to wear trousers? You now say all women should be excluded. Now, what for you, guy? Stephen says that nature teaches that the position of the male genitals suits the trousers perfectly. For a female, it's a no-no. The skirt for the female fits perfectly for their genital as well. So nature says it all. Women should be in skirt or wrapper. First, the military are not in any compulsion to wear trousers. They have the options to dress in trousers or not. I believe that the right of the sisters should be respected. Otherwise, since it is necessary to serve, they should be given exemption, or else the purpose of national unity and integration is defeated. All right, Stephen, thank you for sending your message across. I love how we have a number of views. I love how very varied the views that I've been getting today are. Hello.
Yeah, hello, Sandra. Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome.
Yes, well done. My name is Alex. I'm calling from Mr. Singh.
Go ahead, Alex.
Yes, well done. Yeah, concerning the wrapper and the trouser of a team. Well, for me, what I think is that after the training, if they want to go back to the skirt, fine. The NYSC should allow them to go back to the skirt after the training, because with the trouser, they can do a lot of things. But with skirt during the training, they cannot do all the whole obstacle crossing. So I support the idea. If after the training they can go on with their skirts. I know some military people, they put on skirts too when you're not in training. Some military lady personnel, they put on skirts.
Okay.
And in the issue of wrapper, like me, I do tie wrapper at home. Then my landlord, well, I'm from Delta, but my landlord used to tie towel. A Yoruba man for that matter. So don't worry, I'll give you wrapper instead of tying towel every morning. That's a joke, Sha. So well done. I appreciate you. Well done.
Thanks for calling me. This one says, can you please lay more emphasis on the core members who put on hijab? If they are allowed to put on hijab, why not skirt? Is it in the Bible that trousers are meant for men? And who makes trousers that the men wear? Did Jesus Christ put on trousers? All right, so you're making a number of points, and I don't know where you stand on this particular debate. So I'm just going to leave that alone. This person says, Sandra, I want to know the meaning of uniform. Nigeria makes simple words seem complicated. Well, you can pick up a dictionary. I'm sure that dictionary will clear that up very, very quickly for you. We've got another message here. Sandra, those ladies who live in cold and snow, should they wear skirts to die in the cold? No, they all wear trousers. It's the same God who created those areas that also created Africa. NYSC is right to say that they should all wear trousers because it is more protective for everybody. And that's a message from David. David, thank you so much for sending your message across. And thank you to you for calling into the show, for sending messages via Facebook and via WhatsApp and via Twitter as well. I've had a great time. If you just joined us, we're talking about the serve with skirt movement. That's what they're called. Serve with skirts movement. And they are a movement that is trying to get the NYSC to let them decline to wear trousers. They want to have the option to wear skirts as part of their NYSC uniforms. I'm asking you what you think about that. What you think about the root cause of that problem, which stems from the fact, by the way, that we believe that trousers are meant for men and skirts or dresses are meant for women, when historically it's been proven that what a man is supposed to wear and what a woman is supposed to wear has constantly evolved with time. If you missed the conversation, you can catch up on our podcast, The Glass Ceiling Show. Search for The Glass Ceiling Show with Sandra Ezekwesili on any of your podcast services. And you can listen and you can share your thoughts and you can tweet at me at Twitter. Twitter is at @Ezekwesili. That's my personal Twitter handle. And I'm interested to hear from you. I'm interested to hear what you think about all of the ideas that we share on The Glass Ceiling every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Next week, Wednesday, we'll talk about something that is equally important: finance in marriage. Your finances as a married person. Yeah, let's talk about that next week, Wednesday at 4. But coming up, transportation in Nigeria. It's a big problem.
Hard facts. We'll be right back.